Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ashraf Nazim, co-founder and chief executive of Waqfi WLL. We are a next-gen fintech platform for deposit mobilization, a B2B2C company. So we work alongside banks to help them improve their deposit mobilization in the market. We've chosen Bahrain to be our head office. And the reason is simple: tremendous support from EDB, central bank, Tamkeen, the financial sector at large, and good availability of local talent in the market. Waqfi, why Waqfi? Waqfi, is based on the premise that deposit banking in its current format is dead. And to stay relevant, banks really need to revamp the way they mobilize deposits in the market. Let me make it simple. You must all be having deposit accounts in some banks, correct? Think about it. Have there been days when you wake up and you feel that, yes, you feel excited, yes, I've got a bank account in bank X, Y, and Z? Ever that feeling crossed your mind? Never. Well, okay, so, and this is what we are also seeing when we spoke to many of the consumers at large across the region. So really the big pain point is, how do we build a better emotional connection between consumers and banks? And the way to do it, and the example we have is is from other industries. Quite interestingly, the competition for deposits is not just coming from within the financial industry, it is also coming from outside of the finance industry. Let me give you an example. Do you feel Careem is a competition to banks? Do you feel Starbucks is a competition to banks? Do you feel Amazon or PayPal is a competition to banks? Many of the banks do not realize where, how these competitors from outside of the finance industry are eating away their lunch. And a common theme with all these non-FS providers is they're providing a value-added service, and then they're adding a digital wallet to their proposition, and therefore mobilizing a share of the wallet that previously used to be with banks. So if a consumer was keeping out of $100, $90 in her or his bank account, now they're keeping $10 with Careem, $5 with Starbucks, $15 with Amazon, and so forth. And the share of wallet for banks is only 60 and not 90 as before. So really the share of wallet is decreasing. Second, the profitability, the revenue from these deposit businesses also under pressure. A number of these non-FS players can charge you premium because they're providing a value-added service, and for that convenience you don't mind paying. But try with a bank. If a bank wants to charge you a little bit extra for the checkbook, for any other service, the immediate thought that crosses our mind is, why? But why? You are just more of a glorified coin box, and why do I pay these charges? So banks are in a very paradoxical situation where they need to decide that if they want to stay relevant, how do they need to reinvent themselves? And that is where Waqfi comes in. Waqfi has two propositions. One is digital and one is community banking. For the first time in the region, Waqfi is introducing digital community banking proposition. The big problem that we are solving here is, how do we build an emotional connection between banks and the consumers? Why is this important? So far, banks have been looking at happy and unhappy customers. But then within the happy customer segment, there are consumers which are emotionally connected and those who are not. Majority at the moment are not. But consumers who are emotionally connected with their banks are actually 6 to 8 times more profitable for banks. They love to do a lot more banking. They get into everyday banking. And that is where, again, Waqfi steps in terms of trying to build a stronger emotional connection between banks and the consumers. Let me give you examples in terms of what Waqfi entails. So the digital proposition is the easy part, very innovative, but still in the easier part, I would say. And what it does is it allows consumers to open a bank account without ever having to walk into a bank branch. So a presence-less way of opening a bank account from the convenience of any time, anywhere. You can open a bank account end-to-end in less than 7 minutes. You can open it anywhere from the GCC. If a bank is Waqfi enabled, is powered by Waqfi, then that allows you to open a bank account. For example, setting in Saudi Arabia, you can open a bank account with a bank in Bahrain that is powered by Waqfi. So it's eKYC, it's forensic analysis of documentation, it's less than 7 minutes, it's anytime, anywhere. It really provides tremendous convenience, especially for our younger generation who are much more tech savvy. So that is the digital part. Now let's talk about the business proposition. The community proposition, the community banking proposition has 3 pillars to it. The first pillar is what we call choice to express. We are giving back control of, we are giving back consumers control of their bank accounts, right? And what does that mean? Now think about it. You're working with Bank X, right? And Bank X, you've been having an account with them for a number of years, and they give you a statement and so forth, and you're like, fine, whatever. And then you have a new bank, powered by Waqfi, who comes to you and says, Miss So-and-so, would you mind opening an account with us? And you agree to open an account. And while you're opening an account, because they're powered by Waqfi, so they give you an option to express your aspirations and goals and values that are close to your heart. What does that mean? So let's say you say, you know what, in Bahrain, it matters a lot to me to help create employment opportunities for the SME segment, within the SME segment. Or you say, you know what, affordable housing is a big challenge in the market here, and I would love to help contribute to help build this affordable housing for Bahrainis, right? Or affordable education, or affordable healthcare, renewable energy, climate change, whatever value, aspiration, goals are close to your heart. And therefore the bank takes note of that. In 6 months' time, the bank comes back and says to you, Miss So-and-so, your traditional bank comes to you and says, okay, Miss So-and-so, here is your bank statement. And you're like, okay, fine, whatever, you tear it apart, it goes in the trash can. The new bank, powered by Waqfi, comes to you and says, thank you, Miss So-and-so, for opening a bank account with us. And by the way, we did take note of your aspirations and goals in life. And the bank did take that into account when we were doing our financing proposition. And we are just glad to report that the bank has prioritized SME segment. And over the last period, because of you and a lot of other customers who've given us their business, we've been able to support 5 SMEs, which has created 15 employment opportunities. Now, how would that make you feel? Good, right? So without disturbing any of your banking conveniences, you still have an ATM card, you still withdraw, you still deposit the money, you still use it for your everyday use, and it allows you to create an impact in your local community. So clearly, the overwhelming response is the goodness in ourselves tells us, you know what, my money might as well be making a certain impact in the community that I work with. So the first pillar of our community banking initiative is choice to express, giving back control of their bank accounts to consumers. The second pillar is about creating a social good marketplace. And what we are saying is about creating physical and digital communities which are already there, but bringing them to life, bringing them to the next level, digitizing them and giving access to you to actually contribute and be part of those communities. And what does that mean? So for example, there are doctors out there who are doing some very unique, some very expensive operations for patients on a fi sabilillah basis, on a charity basis, and they are supported by the arts community of Bahrain, right? And they've been doing this, and they've been sponsoring 10, for example, operations a year. Now what Waqfi has done is Waqfi has digitized this entire process, also connected them with other stakeholders, and put this community very accessible to you through your bank account. So tomorrow, if you decide, there are 20 communities out there, let's say, and if you decide to be part of a community that's close to your heart, that's just a click away. So a social good marketplace where you can contribute with a tap of a button, either your time or your money, in a very safe, secure way. So that's the second pillar. And the third pillar Third pillar is more about creating rewards and a mechanism to incentivize our consumers, to incentivize our consumers to be more successful, to strive for higher successes in their lives. What does that mean? Let me give you an example of the millennials. Let's say youth are a big chunk of our society, right? And what are the key pain points of youth? Let's say if there's a teenager, 13, 14-year-old, what's his primary concern? His primary concern is, how do I get an internship? How do I get a scholarship? How do I get a mentorship? How do I get skills development? How do I get into a good university, right? And at the moment, how are banks really contributing to solving these issues? They are not. But those banks that are now powered by Waqfi will be able to offer a rewards program, a benefits program that will bring together high impact benefits, right, for millennials and their households. So let's say, for example, Waqfi is in the process of building partnerships that will bring to you more than 5,000 benefits in the form of skills development, entrepreneurship opportunities, internships, mentorships, university discounts, and other similar benefits. And what happens is the millennial will then come to your, to their family tomorrow and say, Baba, why are you banking with Bank X? If you were banking with a bank powered by Waqfi, and if you are a silver card holder, then that entitles one of your family member for a 3-month internship at a tier 1 corporate. And Baba, because of that, that makes my entry into university a lot easier. And there also, I get a 10% discount, for example. And that makes, that feeds into my career and my professional success. So the third part is, again, bringing in a loyalty program, a rewards program that really impacts, our local communities. It feeds into personal and professional successes of our families. So Waqfi is here to bring that paradigm shift, to make banking more purposeful, to bring purpose at its core, digitizing it so that the convenience is there, but really bringing the community banking pitch to the region. So welcome on board.